Find your name, that's the order we speak. Good evening, everybody. Who's excited about tonight? Awesome, that's what we like to see. Okay, I just want to straight up tell you tonight is going to be live streamed, so look your best, do your hair, and particularly the candidates, because you're going to be the ones on the main camera. So even though it's live streamed, it will then be found on YouTube. And you can put into YouTube Livingstone Council, Mayoral and Councillor Forum. Very easy. So that's something that you can pass on to people who said, oh, I wish I got there. But you can tell them, look, you can still see it. And we need to get this out to our community because it's very important, isn't it? All right. Okay, so I just thank you so much. The crowd tonight is very overwhelming, which is very exciting to see. Let me introduce myself. My name is Robin Booth. I just want to let you know that I really saw a need for this to happen in our community. I'm just one of you. I am just a local business owner. I pay rates, and I just have befriended quite a lot of people who are new to the region. And I had them saying to me, can you just tell me who to vote for? I don't know any of these people. And I thought, I can do one better. I'll run, a forum. And like even those of us who've lived here all our lives, we've got fresh new faces up here. And I was curious. I wanted to get to know them. And I have got to know them very, very well. And we have got a top bunch of candidates up here. And give them a hand because you know what? I have to say, they've got balls of steel because it's the most hated job in the Shire. If you've got a title of mayor or councillor, it's just an automatic thing that comes with them. And they're so passionate about this community. And I find that whenever we say the word community, my husband always reminds me that, you know what community means? It's common unity. And we have to have a common unity about what we want for our Shire. And I think in essence, all of us, what we want is to have a Shire that flourishes and have the ability for us to flourish in it. And, so this is your opportunity to hear the candidates tonight and see, okay, under this leadership, will they make our Shire flourish? Who wants to flourish? All right. Okay, so I just wanted to get a bit of a feel of concerns that were happening. We did this at Mount Morgan. We did it, I just did it in the caves as well. And I asked a few people here because it's good for you to voice your opinion for these candidates to hear. I know you'll talk to them all individually, but the notes that I'm getting, I will be passing on to them as well. But the main things that I'm hearing from people is water rates, cost of maintaining the lagoon is a burden to the ratepayers. Part of the town hall, someone who runs theatre productions, they find that there's part of it's used as a storage area, which they need space for doing theatre productions. They find that difficult. Someone has said it'd be nice to have some more electric car chargers. Seeing electric cars are coming more on the market. Someone's concerned about low morale in council. Kinka Beach, we had that mentioned at Emu Park as well, just the grass on the beach side. It's just not kept down for them. And someone mentioned about Kraken the birds, they love to leave their mark, and just for that to be cleaned up more often. But I then asked the question, what are you grateful for? Because, you know what? Yeah, we can have some complaints, but we've got to, you know, honestly say, where have they done well, you know? And so a lot of people are saying they think the waterfront precinct looks really good. They love that the lagoon is open for them to go anytime and have access. Someone said that, I know it was right at the start when the council started, but when all the mandates came in, the council actually listened to the business owners where the pressure was put on them to put the pressure on their staff in regards to the mandates, and the council listened. People said the art on the toilet walls around the Shire looks fantastic. I think they are. All the new walking paths that they're noticing, which are really, really good. People who live on dirt roads, they're noticing we're putting down better, good road base in parts of those roads now, and it's not falling apart as much, and maintaining it a bit more. Pushing through the road at Jabiru Drive industrial area, that one is mine because my business is there. But it's now been pushed through for us to meet the lights where the dump is, and that's really good for the commercial sector. And having good parks for our families. So let's just give a hand to the council for actually, you know, doing a good job in that. Okay, so how's tonight going to run? This is how it's going to work. All the councillors, candidates will be speaking first. They will get 3 minutes each to talk, and then we will go to the mayoral candidates and they will have 4 minutes each to talk. We have 15 councillor candidates here tonight. One of them couldn't make it, but he's given us a speech to read on his behalf. And then we have 4 mayoral candidates. So folks, hold on to your seats. It's going to be a bit exhausting, but it's going to be worthwhile. Get your notes, your pads, your pen, and your phone, whatever. Take notes, because it's going to be hard to remember who said what otherwise. But this will be, remember, on YouTube. Very good. Someone's listening. Thank you. All right. So now this is for our candidates. We've been having fun with getting them to stay in their 3 minutes. So when it is 30 seconds away from you finishing, I'll give you a dingle. I will be looking at you. And that tells you have 30 seconds to go. And then when it's at the end of your time, I will keep ringing it until you stop talking. All right. Be warned. All right, here we go. Oh, apologies. Okay, so here we go. Our first candidate of tonight, Helen Schwiekert. Helen was appointed branch manager within 5 years of service in the Westpac Bank, which gave her the grounding to progress into her business of finance broker at Capco Home Loans, and she has recently extended the business to a real estate with Prestige Property. Ladies and gentlemen, Helen Schwiekert.
Thank you everybody for coming. It's very clear that we're all passionate about our community, hence why I put my hand up for this role. So, I have lived on the Capricorn coast for the past 35 years and feel very passionate about the future of this area, hence my nomination. With an extensive finance and banking background, as well as successful business practices, this has given me the skills in relation to listening to concerns and finding solutions. One of our greatest successes is being able to provide that great service with integrity and trust. If we can work together as a team, we will have what's required to find the solutions. One person does not have all the answers to meet the expectations of the whole community. Decisions need to be considering the impact of the wider community as opposed to small sectors of the Shire. I understand there are many concerns and people are not feeling that their concerns are being heard. I'm a great listener, as well as ensuring that I respond to all your concerns in a timely manner. I'm in the process of shuffling my very busy business practices around so that I have the time to make my role as councillor as constructive as possible, to do the best that I can within my scope to make our Shire great. My contribution to the region over many years has included my involvement in many groups, including the Capricorn Enterprise Board, chairman of the Red Shield Appeal, door knocking, Rothery, business women's groups, currently a member of the Bondula Rural Fire Brigade, sponsor of many sporting clubs and events, just to name a few. Some of my ideas moving forward would include keeping it local by ensuring contracts for works are allocated where we have the skill set so that they stay within our region. Keeping water pricing cost neutral. This is a service and we have to get it right. They've made some changes, they're aware, they've put their hand up, so that'll be something that will be looked at very closely. Managing the rate increases so that the infrastructure growth and maintenance create a balance so that the costs are not passed on to the ratepayers. Managing internal costs and having the manpower allocated where it's needed, hearing lots about the parks, the mowing, just the general maintenance and keeping our little area neat and clean. Simplifying process for projects and applications to benefit small businesses and residents. Tourism is an important part of our region to create jobs with small businesses, increase in accommodation which is needed to make this happen. We have a great natural beauty in our region just waiting to be explored with the islands, beautiful beaches and the tourist attractions. One last thing, I don't want our beaches closed. I'm just simply looking for solutions for the safety of our community and the integrity of our shores. Thank you. Sorry, just quickly, I have another event on, so I am afraid I have to zip off now, but I want to talk to everyone, so please feel free, reach out and tell me your concerns. I'd love to hear them. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Helen. Our next candidate is Christen Caselli. He purchased Aficionado's restaurant on the beachfront and it only took 3 weeks to turn it around into a thriving success. Later he opened Baked on 44 in 2018 with the intention of making it grow into what it is today with now 11 staff. He's been hostel manager, a chef, pub manager in different locations in both Europe and Canada. So ladies and gentlemen, Christen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for attending and listening to me. Tonight I come before you with a heart full of love and adoration for our community and a Shire as a total. As I stand here, I am humbled by the opportunity to represent you, to be your voice in shaping the future of our beloved home. In this election, I wish to shed light on 5 key issues that are close to my heart, issues that I believe are pivotal in guiding our community towards a brighter tomorrow. Firstly, let's talk about small businesses. As a fellow small business owner, I intimately understand the trials and triumphs of entrepreneurship. I pledge to advocate tirelessly for policies that uplift our community and local businesses, our farming industry, our complete Shire as a total, and not misrepresent the total community and not to only focus on coastal entities but the whole Livingstone Shire as a total. To clear away the burdensome obstacles that hinder their growth and to foster an environment where they can flourish. To bring together every part of the Livingstone Shire and make a stand for everyone who resides in the Shire and make sure we all want to be part of Livingstone moving forward without limitations and boundaries. Secondly is strategic growth. It is not just a goal but a necessity for our community's long-term prosperity. By meticulously planning economic development hand in hand with environmental sustainability, infrastructure enhancement, and the enhancement of our quality of life, we can ensure that our community thrives while preserving its unique charm. Thirdly, our young families. They are the heartbeat of our community's future. With 2 young boys of my own, I am acutely aware of the importance of creating an environment where they can thrive. About to champion initiatives that support affordable housing, quality education, accessible childcare, and ample recreational opportunities for families. Transparency, the cornerstone of trust in local governance, is my 4th pillar. I will advocate for open meetings, accessible public records, and clear communication channels with you, the constituents. By fostering transparency in decision making, we can forge a more inclusive and accountable government that truly serves the needs of all. Lastly, but certainly not least, let us not forget the vital role of hospitality and tourism in our community's economic growth. With over 2 decades of experience in this industry, I'm uniquely positioned to advocate for policies that bolster our local businesses, showcase our unique attractions, and invest in infrastructure to enhance the visitor experience. To throw your hat in the ring has got to be one of Australia's best one-liners. With meaning, however, this resonates with me in this instance very much. I wear many hats. As a father, as a husband, as a business owner, as a friend, and most importantly, a husband, but I've said that twice. Having the chance to wear one as a Livingstone Shire Councillor is one I would feel privileged to wear with pride. In closing, I wish to express my gratitude for your time and attention. I hope that my words today have offered you a glimpse into my unwavering dedication to our community's well-being. Let us move forward together with love and adoration for the place we call home, and let us build a future that we can all be proud of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kristan. At Emu Park, he hit it on 3 minutes exactly. Oh, you added to it. Is that what happened? Okay. Well, he needs to know when to take the bread out on time, doesn't he? So he should be good at that. All right. Our next candidate is Wade Rothery. Wade has been a professional footballer, a carpenter, a security guard, a miner, and now what he believes to be the most rewarding job out of all, he's a house manager. He lives in a care house for young Indigenous and disadvantaged children. Ladies and gentlemen, Wade Rothery.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. Great show. Show of support for the council, the councillors, all the people running. It's not an easy thing to get up and talk in front of everyone. But I'm going to start with what a vote for me is. If I get your vote, what I can do for you. And I can guarantee you a couple of things. I can guarantee you'll have a voice. You'll get to know me. You'll get to see me around. I think things like this should happen at least once a month, where the councillors and the mayor get up and the community has a free go at them, really, on what's happening. Trust me, I'd love it. So I want to be a voice, and I want to represent you in council. And I guarantee you I'm a straight talker, I'll say it how it is, and your voice will be heard. Other things I want to get onto is, obviously, the cost of living is through the roof at the moment, and things are made even worse by the cost of water. Everyone's obviously going through it. I'm going through it. The farmers going through it. Emu Park's going through it, and obviously Yeppoon as well. I want to make sure that the first tier goes back to the 75 kilolitres. That's a guarantee that I will stand by your side and make sure we all fight for that. The other one is obviously rates. We all pay rates. What do we pay? $4,500 a year on rates, and what are we getting for it? Like, so many people are sending photos of parks, of walkways that are a mess. You know, people are saying there's snakes, there's mice. You know, if you're paying for a service, then this is something that has to be implemented. You know, if I get a job as councillor, again, I'll be making sure that as a group, we'll be getting on everyone's back and making sure that your kids can play in parks without having to worry about running through grass up to their knees. The next one is obviously youth care. I'm big into youth care. I live with Indigenous and disadvantaged youths, obviously, and the very kids that, you know, steal your cars, break into your homes, that you fear, that have threatened families. They're the kids that I get 2 o'clock in the morning. They come and I've got to pretty much calm them down, talk to them and guide them. You know, these kids, and you know, everyone's, oh, kids do this, kids do that. You know, yep, you've got the one or two, but what I target on is the followers. All kids follow, you know. If we can stop that, and what I want to do is I want to get our space here in Yeppoon and Emu Park. I'm happy to run it. Even if I'm not councillor, I guarantee you I'll be still pushing for it. So I think youth crime can be easily handled if we have the right people running it. And I guarantee you I'll be putting my hand up for that. Last one, again, I just want to thank you all for coming. But me as a person, I'm not a follower. You know, I'm not going to be just following, I'm not going to be signing paperwork, whatever. I'm going to make sure that everything that I sign off on and I put my name to, it's because I've listened to you, I've heard your voices, and then I'm putting the Shire of Livingstone first. Thank you.
Thank you, Wade. Okay, our next candidate is Rhodes Watson. Rhodes has worked as a photojournalist, managed training colleges, owned a signwriting business, has been greatly involved in community projects in bringing solar for homes, creating a canvas bag promotion, promoting our region for families to use for shopping, and he's founded the Food Relief Capricorn Coast, which has 2 locations, Yeppoon and Emu Park. Became a councillor in 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rhodes Watson.
Hi all. That would have to be the fastest 3 minutes I've ever seen. I wish I could run that fast. Look, what I want to say tonight is I was appointed 3 years ago. So everything that I've done so far has happened in 3 years. And I have a list. If you grab a brochure before you leave, you can read it in depth. But these are some of the things I've done. I decided when I got into council I'd be a full-time councillor, and I have. I organised the sign campaign for the Rocky land grab. I've sent thousands of coconuts and palm fronds to be composted at the High Valley Dawn, saving the cost of sending everything to the landfill and our environment. I organised a display trailer for the volunteering police to help with youth crime, and it's nearly finished. I've had a stall at the community markets every second Saturday for the whole 3 years. So I missed one last week. I slept in for the first time. I facilitated the trial and to remove wild dogs. I conducted a petition to improve the entrance to the Roslyn Bay Harbour. I gave Fig Tree Galleries back I gave the Fig Tree Galleries back to the artists and the residents. I gave recognition to the graves of the South Sea Islander people at the Emu Park Cemetery. I trained more than 100 people to help with the SenseNap Solve app to help people help themselves with problems. I've helped residents voice their needs with roads needing to be graded. I've reported and fixed disabled parking spaces in Emu Park and Yeppoon. I had a park bench installed in Emu Park remembering the Green family and the Green's hardware. Organised a mobility scooter weekend where I went out with people in mobility scooters and found out how dangerous they are to ride, but also what they have to contend with when they are using them. I supported blind Paralympic swimmer Jared Gosens in the first swimming around the Great Keppel Island. I've organised to put in volunteers at Ron's Corner in Keppel Sands. If you ever go to Keppel Sands, it's to the left-hand side of the beach. There's a beautiful garden that was looked after by a man who just got tired, and now I've got new volunteers looking after that. I've helped people with growing grass, drainage issues and potholes. I'm the president of the Food Relief Capricorn Coast. I'm a board member of Capricorn Enterprise, and I'm the president of the Bicycle User Group. But these are the things I will do. I will continue to be a full-time councillor. I will continue having a stall every second Saturday. I will continue to promote to remove wild dogs and find funding to help residents to do so. Really? All right. Okay. Shh. I better go down the thing. I am working on the rail trail to go from Yeppoon to Kawarral, and we won't be using any ratepayers' money to do it. There is another way to do it, and I'm working on that with the bug. I'm also working on the Emu Park jetty. It's 100 years old this year, and we're trying to get it back to its original state. Oh yes, and I'm going to... I will work with council to organise community meetings to shape and design the towns, and I will work to stimulate landholders to... Oh, I'll forget that. You can read on the form. But what I will say is I put all my effort into everything.
It's like herding wild cats up here, I'm telling you. All right, our next candidate, Pat Eastwood. Pat was a police officer in Tasmania, moved to our Shire in 2002 to become the chaplain at Yeppoon State High School, and he did that for 19 years. He owns a local learn to surf business, and he was elected to council in 2018, and he currently oversees the community's portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, Pat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for coming. Yes, my name's Pat Eastwood and I love Livingstone. When we first moved here, we moved to Emu Park, and I had to move into Yeppoon in the end so I could be closer to my beloved Farnborough Beach. I'm one of those guys, I like to go off my early surf most mornings, so love to get up and drive up the beach and go for a surf. But it was also closer to work, and I loved spending my 19 years at Yeppoon High as a youth worker chaplain. I became a councillor in 2018 in a by-election. I was re-elected in 2020. Under the first council that we had, we spent a fair bit of dollars, a lot of money, and it was good. But there came a time when we had to put the brakes on it a little bit, and we managed in the last 4 years to pay off a whopping $30 million in debt. That's good, that's great. But I think it's time to loosen the reins a little bit. I think it's time that we spend some of that money on our community. We can pay off debt, but it doesn't have to be paid off tomorrow. Our community has been suffering. But we don't want to let the debt get out of control again. We need to look after everyone in this Shire. Whether you're in Byfield, Narimbara, whether you're up at the caves, or where you live in central Yeppoon, you mean something to this council and to this Shire. Do you know that the best way of seeing how someone's gone is to look at their track record, to see how they're going to perform is to look at their actual track record? I have shown good, level-headed governance and thoughtful decision-making in my 6 years. But I'm also prepared to meet the people when things get gnarly. And we had a meeting at Glenley Park a couple of weeks ago, another one up here in town, where the people weren't happy and they shouldn't have been, and I fronted up, along with a couple of other councils, and that's what you want, that's what you need. You need people to have the guts to front up when things aren't good. I've always supported local community groups and organisations, and I've been on the grants committee for 4 years. I've been part of a continual push to get GKI to move forward. I've advocated for safer streets, and I was part of the team to give our senior citizens organisation a permanent home. And I also listened when I received your calls about the early rate date, and I got it changed. I'm concerned about what you're concerned about. Of course I'm concerned about water. I'm concerned about the rates. We need to look at these things. We need to make sure that they don't just keep on going up. We've got to draw them back. We need to look after our roads, have better maintenance schedules. And divisions should be revisited so that you get the care that you need within your communities. I fought for our parklands, for the outriggers. I stopped the landlord tax, which helped curb rent rates. And the other accomplishments, well, you're just going to have to guess what they were. But my promise to you is I'm going to knuckle down and work for you.
We do love them, really. Okay, our next candidate is Jillian Neyland. Jillian's work history includes high school teaching, tour guiding, grant writing, and running youth leadership events. It's pretty exciting having a lot of people up here who've worked with youth, which is really awesome. Along with being a keen member of the Yeppoon Choral Society, she's also established the great new initiative of the Capricorn Coast Toy Library. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Jillian.
Welcome everyone. I'm actually quite nervous tonight, but I've got a couple of kids here so they can cheer for me. So for 2 nights now, I've listened to my fellow councillor candidates talk to residents about their skills, their experiences, what they don't like about council, what they have done for residents or what they think they can do. And I have been humbled listening to the wonderful things that each of these people have done in their lifetimes in and for our community, because we've all done great work. And every person here is a decent human, and I've really enjoyed meeting them all. I'm sure you, as the residents, have sensed that there are some difficult relationships in the room and some divided opinions, but that's what happens when you put a bunch of really passionate people together. So I'm keenly aware that this job will be hard. This is local government, and the Mayor and the team of councillors will not only shoulder the responsibility of over 40,000 residents, but this also includes about 360 council staff who are guided by the elected members' decisions. There are procedures and multiple layers of legislation to adhere to, and a bank of local knowledge that informs and guides our future decisions. My job would be to act as a conduit between our community and the council, helping to voice your concerns, making sure they are addressed and not swept aside, negotiating and proposing the best compromises to balance multiple stakeholders, budget constraints, capacity capabilities, and environmental and social concerns. I am an active and influential leader, and I place great emphasis on community-driven solutions to regional problems. But I need to justify to you why I should be your elected leader. I'm one of the hardest workers you will meet. I constantly work away at projects until they're done, and then I move on to the next. This council needs to be made up of 100% hard workers so that everyone's load is equal, and then you will get the best deal. I'm an optimist, and my life's work has been spent helping others to solve problems and reach their goals. Our council needs inspiration, not condemnation. The skill set I've gained from working as a teacher and educator means I can connect with people, listen to their frustrations, be respectful, manage stressful days or weeks, and draw on deep energy reserves because I am driven by the desire to help others. I am creative, but I follow protocol, and I communicate clearly. I like data and can read large amounts of information, and I prefer to make my decisions based on facts, but with some empathy. Most of the candidates here are speaking about our environment and looking after it, which is fantastic. But I would like to think I could excel in that aspect and put my academic background in science, ecotourism, and environmental education to use. And finally, at a strategic board level, I can offer real insight from a parent, a mother's perspective. Not because I raised my kids 20 years ago, but I'm doing it right now. And I know how much the bills cost for a family of 6. I worry about safety on busy roads, or how my little one is going to keep getting swimming lessons now that the heated pool is closed, or how my kids are going to afford housing or get meaningful jobs here. So with that in mind, I offer you my nomination. It has been a humbling experience to try and meet the expectations of my community, but I can only be me, and perhaps that's enough. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jillian. Our next candidate is Mike Deckman. Mike is a respected commercial and residential builder. He currently serves on Master Builders Board dealing with government legislation for the building industry. He has a cattle farm near Yamba where they breed Brangus and Drought Master cattle, and he is semi-retired and now has the time, plus his experience and the community concerns at his heart. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Deckman.
Thanks, Robin. Nice and coming in. As you've heard, I've been around here for a while. A resident and owner of a number of businesses here since 1980. We need changes to the sitting councillors and the mayor. Transparency of council decisions need to be much better put to the public. 16 concerned residents standing here for 6 positions as councillor. 4 over here for the mayor speaks loudly and speaks for itself. We need some change. As you heard, I'm a respected and awarded builder since 1980, a consultant and a grazier in our beef industry. I'll be a proper, strong community voice bringing issues to council, your voice, your council. Known to be a no-nonsense person, I believe council needs much better focus. My business is familiar to many, being sought after over the years, such as on the rail network, building clients like Harvey Norman and many others. People would know of Rocky Renovators, Queensland Building Consultants, where we do investigation solutions between homeowners, builders and the regulators. Maxi Hire, we do scaffolding and rigging. The Nyapoon grazing I have at Yamba, where we breed Drought Master and Brangus cattle and feed back into our meat industry. This consistent success shows commitment and ability to run good business and governance. I'm a member of the Institute of Company Directors, been in Nyapoon here, living since 1989, Rocky since 1980. This community is very important to me. I've volunteered and supported much in the community over those years. I was an original donor for the automatic weather station we've got at Emu Park at Nyapoon here, which we raised in record time, and we now have it on the national weather data. I've chaperoned international divers and tourists and visitors throughout the capitals and the Bay. I've been a family and sports as an official trainer and age manager at sports and surf lifesaving. Yes, I'm semi-retired and I do have the time, the experience and commitments towards good counsel with our community concerns at heart. I've been known to be firm in bringing matters to transparent discussions at committees, dispute resolutions and industry. I bring a wealth of business acumen to the council table if I'm elected. I've held long terms, as you've heard, as chairman of the Institute of Building Consultants and Master Builders in Queensland, not on the board proper, but an electoral college member. I've been a member for over 30 years. I've advocated for many years for better standards and compliance, and to the agriculture industry nationally through forums like at Meat and Livestock Australia, for example, and I meet with varied political leaders throughout for community, industry and raw metals. Having a cattle property here for years and studied at UQ Gatton supports my vision to bring solid long-term management to the council, scrutineering better value for ratepayers' money in council contracts and operations expenditure. I quote, "Council, I believe, has not been making sufficient decisions by the councillors that have been in recent times loosely delegated to the administration and directors of council without adequate transparency and proper scrutiny by those councillors. The Shire water charge Angara residents and business needs immediate priority. Rocky is landlocked for major development to the north. Livingstone Shire will get much busier with industry and housing in the Northern Growth Corridor. There's some 150 kilometres of Bruce Highway in this Shire, north of Rockhampton. It needs to be planned well. Rural roads are greater than 50% of all roads in the Shire. I'll push to have 4 lanes compared to Nyapoon. Allowing safe, we need experience and a change to the existing council members, so I ask for your vote in this election.
Thank you. They're so passionate, they just want to keep talking. Our next candidate is Andrea Friend. Andrea is one of our current councillors. She has served for 1 term in our Shire. She is a member of the SES Nyapoon, the Community Radio Keppel FM and the Nyapoon Choral Society. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrea Friend.
Good evening. As Robin said, I'm Andrea Friend and I'm one of your current first-term councillors. I worked in Livingstone Shire Council for over a decade before becoming a public figure. In 2020, my motto was working for you, and I have proven this statement to be true. The portfolio assigned to me was water infrastructure, waste infrastructure, environment, and also local laws. In this area, I spoke with residents and was instrumental in the deregulation of native beehives and the installation of vegetation vandalism signage in the hope for education and behavioural change. Under my portfolio, Council delivered a $3 million Yeppoon sewage treatment plant solar array with Council's contribution of $189,000, saving $90,000 per year in electricity costs. Also, the Resource Recovery Centre, located at the Yeppoon landfill, was completed, and this is saving 25% of materials from entering landfill by recycling, reducing and reusing items. In 2020, I saw a desperate need for a new ramp to be located at the Causeway Lake. This concrete ramp was to replace a gravel carpeted ramp for sailability, whose volunteers take those with disability sailing. I was successful at the council table in my notice of motion. In 2023, this ramp became a reality, and it gives me great pleasure to serve our community and our community organisations. For these last 4 years, I have been active, engaged, transparent, and have attended many homes here for issues such as drainage, lighting, speed reduction, mowing, parking, and water leaks, just to name a few. And most, if not all, of these issues were solved. I will continue to take and return all of your calls. I will continue to read all reports and agendas. And this is important to make informed decisions, particularly for development applications, where I will continue to avail myself to all public submissions. Being completely informed makes for better outcomes. What I hope to achieve, if re-elected, first and foremost, my commitment to reviewing the water charges and the overall budget that I did not vote for. I will also continue to support our non-for-profit organisations, and I will continue to promote Livingstone Shire throughout the state, as I have done so in this last 4 years. I will continue to be your strong voice at the table, and I'd like to thank you all for believing in me in 2020 and your continued support here in this year 2024. Thank you so much.
Give her another hand. 3 minutes was up right then. My goodness, Andrea. Well done. All right. Our next candidate is Cameron Kinsey. Cameron moved to Livingstone 12 years ago to take position at 4X Island, which is now known as Pumpkin. He has managed surf clubs, 4.5-star resorts, and a large liquor retail store. Eventually, he opened the family-run cafe known as Whisk Yeppoon, and now he has a catering company called Creative Cater. Ladies and gentlemen, Cameron Kinsey.
Good evening, welcome. So many lovely faces out there. Okay, I'm running for the people of Livingstone, the ones able to vote in the generations to come, to be the voice of the table on the decisions that will shape Livingstone today and for the future. I'm here for our region. I'm here for you, me, and every other ratepayer in the Shire to offer a different, fresh, new perspective. My many years in hospitality make me very approachable and a good listener. The two main factors of communication. I truly feel like the communication between the community and the local government can be and should be better. The better a council can communicate with the local people, the more community we have. This is something I feel I have the ability to do and bring better communication and customer service to the councillor role. Too many times I've heard from ratepayers that they have contacted a councillor with a grievance, whether it be a road, a drainage problem, what have you, and no meeting's been set. No face-to-face contact on the issue, and if there was a meeting, no follow-up has occurred after that meeting. To put it simply, they don't call, they don't write, they don't send you flowers. This needs to change. We need a cohesive team that will dedicate their time to the community, read and understand the material, ask the questions and do the research on the matters before they put their hand up and vote on the decisions that affect us all. Then make sure it is communicated to the community as a large. I'm a family man with 2 young daughters, and we are living in a very fast-growing Shire. We really need to start thinking about our Shire's future. We need to start attracting and making it easier for business, big and small, in our region so they can create jobs for the local youth of tomorrow. We need to manage the growth properly to achieve a sustainable future whilst not losing sight of the Livingstone lifestyle we all love. And that will allow our children a chance to remain in our community and not be at disadvantage by doing so. With my financial background and experience working with boards and directors, I feel I could be a key part of a team that can deliver a bright future for Livingstone. The reason I'm running is because I love this community and I love the people in it. I love what Livingstone has allowed me to achieve personally, and I want to give back to the Shire for those reasons. When you love something, you fight for it, and you fight to do right by it. A vote for me is a vote for doing right by Livingstone. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Well done. Another one under 3 minutes. Okay. Our next candidate tonight is Paul Mitchell. Paul has worked in the employment and disability sector, youth justice, and these have actually included management roles. He currently works for a youth crime prevention program, delivering programs to schools and youth justice. And often you find him behind the barbecue, helping out many clubs in our community. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Mitchell.
Thanks. Firstly, I'd like to thank Robin for organising this great opportunity for us to tell the community a little bit about ourselves so you can make an informed decision when you're voting. I'm honoured to be running with my fellow candidates who have each shown strength and commitment to the region to stand up and nominate. I mostly want to thank you all for coming out tonight, taking the time to meet the candidates so you can vote confidently at the election. A little bit about my skills and experience that I bring to the position. I've held management level positions, in the employment, education and training industry, working with youth, adults and people with disabilities. I have managed hundreds of staff and multi-million-dollar budgets. I currently run a youth crime prevention program, teaching young people in our region and in Rockhampton respectful communication, patience, tolerance and resilience, and making better choices for their futures. After managing the delivery of a very successful early intervention program, I helped advocate for Project Booyah to continue to deliver this to local vulnerable youth. I support local survivors of domestic and family violence throughout the year as a passion, sourcing furniture, household items, linen and other items of need and passing it on to those families who need it most. My family and I also purchase hundreds of new gifts throughout the year and we donate them at Christmas time to all of these families, giving them a little bit of magic at Christmas. I'm supported in this endeavour by Yeppoon Lions Club and the amazing Carla from the Real Group. Thanks, Carla. I was a White Ribbon Ambassador and I was nominated for an Australia Day Award for my services to the community. I'm an active member of many local clubs over the years, including Emu Park Nippers, Keppel Bay Sailing Club, local netball teams, Pine Fest, Australia Day and other events. I buy local and I support local businesses and I purchase my signs locally. I'm hardworking, transparent, honest, and I will listen and respond to your concerns immediately. I believe that youth are our future and we need to invest in them now. I'm committed to the region and if elected, I will advocate for fairness and a voice for the community. I've listed my experience and skills and passions that I bring to the councillor position, but I believe the role isn't about what I want, but what you want for the community. You get to vote for 6 councillors. Please make me one of them. Vote 1 Paul Mitchell.
Thank you, Paul. I didn't even get to ring my bell on him. That's okay. All right, our next candidate is Trish Bowman. Trish has over 16 years of experience with a finger on the pulse in our local community in journalism and in a long history of community engagement. She also served as executive assistant to the former mayor at Livingstone Shire Council, has a diploma in business management, among other qualifications. Ladies and gentlemen, Trish Bowman.
First of all, thank you all for coming. It's great to see so many faces. I come from a media and community services background with a very long history and hands-on community engagement. I've been a volunteer across many organisations within our community. I believe we need to get back to the grassroots of local government services and get that right first and foremost. I commit to working tirelessly to promote transparency and accountability, ensuring decisions are made in the best interests of our community and that residents are informed and engaged every step of the way. Economic development is absolutely vital to ensure our families grow, thrive and remain in the region that they call home. Growth equals jobs, so we need to be accessing every available bit of state and federal funding to further progress our Shire. We need to cut the red tape and get down to the business of looking after our region. We need to support local businesses and focus on maintaining the beautiful Shire that we have. Our tourism industry is absolutely vital for the economic growth of our region, and it needs our support to boost our local economy, bring vital employment opportunities, and again, to support our local businesses. Our primary producers, the people who put food on our table, and they're doing it tough. We need our council to give them the utmost support and assistance wherever they can. Paying down our debt is vitally important, but we must maintain and enhance our infrastructure as the region grows, as we have all seen recently. We can't drop the ball on maintenance on our parks and gardens. Roads can't be allowed to fall into further disrepair. We need greater investment in our rural road network to improve connectivity and to assist our emergency services who keep our communities safe. I value our biodiversity and I commit to champion the protection of our region's environment through encouraging and supporting sustainable land practices, through education and through role modelling. On social equity, every resident deserves equal opportunity and access. I will champion initiatives that promote social equity, diversity and inclusion in our community. A vote for me is a vote for someone who's prepared to do the hard yards. I'm looking at this as a full-time commitment. If chosen by our community, I'll work together with our new council to strive to achieve best outcomes for our Shire, and I'm willing to stand up and get the job done. You can count on me to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. Our next candidate is someone we all know well, Mr. Bill Ludwig. He established Billy the Mountain Entertainment and staged major regional events and statewide tours. His latest thing is the Lookout wedding venue and farm stay on his family property. Bill has actually served 23 years on both Livingstone and Rocky Regional Council, which was 3 terms as councillor and 4 terms as mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Ludwig.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think I'd be doing this again. However, many people came to talk to me. They were unhappy with the council they thought was disconnected, a council that was spending more focus on how to cut budgets and put money in the bank, and that's an important thing to do, but not at the expense of the community and the reputation that we have, which is a great reputation as a world-class destination for tourism. We got there because when I came on council, it was a council that never used to apply for funding. They said it's not free money, you've got to actually do matching dollars sometimes. And I thought it was amazing. So I set out, I rang Peter Coronis and I sort of said, mate, what's a tip for young players? And he said, studies. You put in the hard yards, you come up with the plans, you get vision documents and you go hard and you get the funding. Livingstone turned that into an art form, and over those 4 terms as mayor, we succeeded in acquiring something like $340 million in funding. Funding that built the Homemaker Centre, funding that established the Gateway Business and Industry Park, which has 4 more stages to go. You have to have a council that's looking over the horizon and a council that has business acumen. You also need to have a council that's been working together, and the council that we have, and that is why people have come, because they haven't seen that teamwork. They haven't seen a council that's done the homework, and when you look at the what happened with the water, everybody can make a mistake, but a council or board of directors should not make a mistake by not doing their homework, not doing the sensitivity analysis, not even knowing what the raw cost of water was when they were setting the charges. I was shocked, and I thought, I'm not going to run for another term as mayor. That's not my role. But I always believed that I should do 1 more term as councillor. I was hoping I'd step down and have a protege going through. I thought I had him with Graham Scott. I thought I had him with Nigel. I've appreciated the 4-year break. I'm coming back to the 1 more term to bring my skill sets back to the table, not because I want to lead, because I want to mentor. I want to make sure that we don't miss out on opportunities like we have. I want to make sure that we get $21.6 million for the federal government for Stanage Bay Road, that it doesn't stretch out over 4 years just to prop up a works program. You only do that if you spend your effort in and spend that money quickly. You could go for stage 2 of that project and we might have had another $21.6 million now. I want to make sure we don't miss another opportunity like that. And we set up the new family business. My daughter-in-law is running it. My job these days is to mow the grass. I've got the time and the effort, and I am very happy and willing to stand up and serve my community 1 more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Our next candidate is Lance Walkon. Lance is the senior pastor of 360 Church in both Yeppoon and Rockhampton. Lance also has a seat on the Tumra Working Group overseeing the health of the Southern Great Barrier Reef to ensure enjoyment for generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Lance Walkon.
Well, hello there, everyone. Well, they say that it takes 7 seconds for a person to make a first impression. By now, and certainly now since the bell has rung, 7 seconds have passed. I've looked at you and you have looked at me. Let me state the obvious. I'm black. I am an Aboriginal. I am a Durrumbil traditional owner and of Vanuatu descent. This puts me in a unique position to bridge the collaboration gap when it's required between traditional owners and council. For 1 year, I was the Durrumbil representative on the Australian Day judging panel in Livingstone. In the following 3 years after this, I continued as a judge as well as the MC on the Australia Day Awards Committee on the Livingstone Shire. I believe that we're all in this together. No matter what colour you are, we all have something to offer to make our communities great. As a Durrumbil person, I volunteer to sit on the Tumra Working Group that manages the health of the Southern Great Barrier Reef, which works alongside organisations such as Parks, Grumpa, Australian Institute of Marine Science, as well as others, in a collaboration effort for the health of our waters and our reefs for generations to come. I am the senior pastor of 360 Church in Yeppoon, which I started in 2011 in the old TAFE building on Tabone Street. And as well as this, I also now lead 360 Church in Rockhampton. Someone has asked me, how will you be able to handle council work on top of all this? Good question. I don't believe in doing things alone. I believe in teams. I believe in working together, bringing your strengths and collaborating and contributing to the cause. I believe that if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. As a pastor, you learn how to listen well, you learn how to problem solve, resolve conflicts, start programs that meet needs, be on call for people, have good time management skills, have grit and determination. Councillors need these fundamental attributes to serve our community well. I also manage Global Care Centre Queensland, which is a disaster relief organisation for our area. We've been chainsawing, cleaning up days in our community, organised pallet loads of donated Gatorade during Cyclone Marsha, fundraised for stock feed for farmers out at West, organised volunteers to renovate a room at Tucker Street, Kiny. We've given food for the homeless, decked out houses with furniture for new Australian citizens in our area, raised thousands of dollars for people in need. I also manage one of the biggest op shops in the western suburbs of Brisbane, and I have not done this being on council. For many years, I captained the Mako A grade touch football team in the Yeppoon Captain Coast competition. We had so many people wanting to have a run that I also started Mako B team, Mako C team, and then I coached 2 junior Mako teams. In conclusion, I hold a master's degree in leadership, a postgraduate degree in applied neuroscience, and I am a certified and practicing life coach. I'm also a husband of 3, see the last paragraph. My oldest son is studying to become a doctor at CQU. My second oldest son, physiotherapy at CQU in Rocky. I've got a lot to offer, so vote number 1, Lance Walkon.
And did he mention he's black? All right. Our next candidate, who can talk just as fast as Lance, is Glenda Mather. In the last 32 years, she has been a councillor in Livingstone Shire since 1988, then when it was amalgamated to Rockhampton, and then re-elected back to Livingstone. Her phone number has been available 24/7, and nobody has been turned away on a matter. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenda Mather.
Thank you, Robin, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We're very proud to have you here tonight. We're living in one of the most beautiful places in Australia, if not the world. You have invested here, and you have invested well. This Shire has a very bright future, and it's going to get better. With the right people in charge of your future, you will reap nothing but benefits for your children and your children's children. It is also the most enticing place at the moment because you can see the immigration numbers are coming into Australia faster than we can provide houses for them. They are moving up to Queensland from Victoria, New South Wales, ACT. There are no houses here for sale, at least very few that you can choose from. And there's nothing out there for rental. We've reached a point that the state government writes to all the councils throughout the state and said, can you help us? We need your help because we've got no houses for these people. Well, they should be having their fight with the federal government, not us. But it's always the bunny. The local government is always the one it comes down to solve the problems. So the state government said, find us some land. And we looked at all of our land. But we are not about to compromise our planning scheme for fast bucks and people coming in, buying property unseen with lots of money because you are competing with them and your kids won't have that opportunity. These people will take it from them. So we have to protect our planning scheme. What we have at the moment, the demands on the council for things to happen in a way that they want, the developer wants. And we love development. And yes, there can be movement as to what they want and what we will let them have. What we know is that the planning scheme needs to be revised very quickly because we're approving things now contrary to the recommendation of our officers. Now, our officers actually go by the book and we must abide by the book. But there is room to move because if we did that, we would be out of pocket because the infrastructure charges would be so great. They wouldn't be able to get off the ground, but then we'd go broke if we assisted them. The planning scheme needs to be revised. My portfolios, the two major ones, one is roads. It's almost a $6 million budget. It's the biggest budget in the whole workforce. Half of those roads, 1,447 kilometres of road network. That takes a lot of money. $440,000 for resheeting. That's only for this year alone. Am I off? Okay. Disaster management is my other portfolio. The Mayor, Andy Ireland, is the chair. I'm his deputy. We train, we have meetings every quarter with all the agencies, and we're ready for any disaster that comes our way. I could tell you more, but I think I'll be in trouble. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenda. All right, our next candidate is Brett Svendsen. Brett has lived here his whole life. It is his family are pioneers in our region. He has served as councillor on both Livingstone Shire and Rockhampton Regional Council. He currently is working with disabled, profoundly autistic young men, and a very challenging role, but he absolutely loves it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Brett Svendsen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and fellow candidates. It's great to see the quality of candidates that have actually put their hands up and said they're going to run this time. I see some ex-councillors here, and that's good news. One thing I want to start off with is I did 18 months in Livingstone Shire, and then we went to the Rocky Regional Council Shire. In the Rocky Regional Council Shire, I was given the portfolio of strategic planning chair of basically the whole area. Now, most of those plans have been rewritten, and they're going to have to be rewritten again. I think Glenda Mather is on the money. So you're going to need someone with expertise in this. You actually paid for me to do the best practices tour in Queensland. So I've been and looked at all the developments from all up the East Coast and Perth. So there's some interesting things that I've done. I was brought up in council, I think it's about 12 years ago, with Bill Ludwig as mayor, the campaigner from hell, and Glenda Mather's the person who did procedures to perfection. And I learnt an extreme lot from those two. Doesn't matter which way you view them, they taught me. Now I'm going to go to Emu Park. As you all pretty well know, I'm from Emu Park and was born in Yeppoon, went to Emu Park Primary School and Yeppoon High School, and then I went to Ag College in North Queensland and played football for North Queensland in the 80s. Some of the projects that I've done or been involved with, and when I say these projects, both Bill Ludwig and Glenda Mather's continued them on after me, because it just doesn't happen overnight. We did the beachfront development, Emu Park, Peace Walk, Emu Park, heating of the swimming pool, Emu Park, Curran Creek boat ramp, Emu Park, football fields, Emu Park, and that's what I've been spending my time doing in the last 10 years, is I've been on the committee of the Emu Park Rugby League, and I don't know whether you know or not, but last year we played the great team of the Gullies in Yeppoon for the grand final. Better team won, the Gullies won in the last minute. We'll get them next time. But that's been a huge success story for Emu Park. Every kid, every child in Emu Park has the opportunity to play rugby league. and they do. We've got every grade covered. We've got senior grades covered. We've actually produced 2 NRL girls that play in the NRL competition now, and it's great to see, and they're great girls. Something else I wanted to say, in the future we really have to do is look at seawalls. I don't know whether you believe in climate change or not, it doesn't matter, because the population growth is getting to the extent where we have to look at seawalls and containing the sea, because just the mere people walking up and down beaches nowadays. We have to look at that. The other thing we really have to look at, and something I did learn about in strategic planning, is leafy suburbs. The valuation on a leafy suburb is greatly enhanced by just having trees on the footpath, having trees everywhere. And if you look at Emu Park, when I was a councillor, I planted trees all along Hartley Street, in the primary school, and in the old football field. So that's something that you've got to bear with. But you need people that have the skills and know how to do it. This is going to be hard turn this term, because we're growing that quick and we're not making enough income to cover the costs. Thank you.
Thank you. He unfortunately could not make tonight, but he sent me through something to read, and so someone here is going to time me and ring the bell on me. And I will just stop. I will show all of you how to do it. No. Tell me when you're ready. Someone's sending messages through. Someone help Kelly. Put a timer on, please.
Righto, carry on.
Okay. It's my pleasure to announce the candidacy for the position of councillor for Clint Swadling, not me. Having served for over the past 11 years as a newly appointed councillor, the decision to run was a no-brainer given the continued calls. I have received support from all over our amazing community. My vision for our community is to make it the best place to live, work, raise a family, retire and invest. We must ensure we continue to deliver strong and responsible, appropriate financial decision making and not fall back to the past councils of high debt, irresponsible spending, shoot from the hip decision making and policy on the run with no vision for our future. Our community deserves better. My community contribution and record in the last 11 months since being appointed as your councillor are as follows. I was a portfolio holder of development, planning and infrastructure, overseeing the record 800 appropriate development approvals within Livingstone Shire. I was chair of the Australia Day Citizens Award, a huge honour and privilege, supporting our Yeppoon senior citizens to improve their facility for functions, further supporting our seniors to continue to contribute to our community. Assisting small business owners around infrastructure related charges and issues while continually supporting small business to thrive. A member of the Northern Corridor Action Group supporting future growth in our community that is appropriate and measured for our community within our Northern Corridor. And the formation of the Emu Park Community Airstrip, just to name a few. My experience within local government is paramount in understanding how it works. I have served in several councils from Rockhampton, Mackay, Barcaldine, Alpha Jericho, and in East Pilbara in WA. Along with my vast experience in local government, I am also an experienced emergency management professional and a proud volunteer and first officer of Kamarara Rural Fire Brigade and an active member of our SES Marlborough Group. Our growing community deserves better, and if I am elected to council as your representative, continue to work hard with my colleagues for our community's needs and to ensure we can deliver a sustainable local government that is transparent, accountable and respectful to our community and its future appropriate growth, in which our council controls and not others. Is that the 30 seconds? It is time the state and federal governments be held accountable and increase funding for local governments across our regions. I have not lost sight of the importance of our rural areas and smaller communities scattered throughout Livingstone Shire, our coastal communities, Great Keppel Island. Each and every one of these communities make up our Shire, and it is important to me. I'm standing on behalf of Clint Swadling at the moment, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of all our candidates for councillor. So a big hand to all the candidates. Okay, I think this is the moment we've all been really quietly waiting for, and that's to hear from our 4 candidates running for mayor. So, are you ready? All right. Our first candidate running for mayor tonight is Adam Belot. Adam holds both a bricklaying and tiling trade, has operated a successful business in the building industry for 28 years and has a diploma in secondary trade teaching. He was elected as a councillor for Livingstone Shire in 2013 when it de-amalgamated from Rocky Regional Council. He's been a councillor for 3 terms, and in this last term he held the role of Deputy Mayor. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Adam Belot.
Thank you very much, Robin. Good evening, everybody. Just before I start, and you start the timer, Robin, if you don't mind, I've just got an email here that came through from the Yeppoon Police, and this campaign has been pretty full on this time around. I was chatting to one of the candidates only last night, Christian here, who had 35 signs stolen, knocked off, and there's been many other councillors as well. I got an email here from the Yeppoon Police say if any councillors would like their signs back, they're in the backyard of Pat Eastwood. So that it's just no. In seriousness though, it's a pleasure to stand here before you. And I was reading on a website, a government website, about the definition of a mayor. And it said that a mayor presides over the meetings and is the spokesperson for the council. If I asked you, though, what you wanted out of a mayor, I think it'd be a whole lot more than that. You want a mayor that's going to lead this community into the most prosperous and the most livable place that we already are, but where we're going to need to go to. You want a mayor that's transparent, that owns a mistake when he makes it. You want a mayor that consults with people, engages with people, because ultimately it's all about the people. I, Adam Belot, for 10 years have been about the people, and I commit to you that I will continue to have you at the centre of every decision I make. It was Paul Keating who said, if you get the policy right, the politics takes care of itself. It's that simple. Now you might say, well, there is no politics in local government, and there shouldn't be. But the reality is, whenever you've got people that are going to make decisions about matters of influence, of resources, of money or power, you'll get politics. I'm not someone who likes politics. To be honest, I just absolutely hate it. But I love good policy. And what is good policy for our community? I spoke to Aaron Travis from Surf Lakes the other day, and he keeps coming back to Yeppoon. He says, is it possible to be able, we know that change comes, it's coming. And the faces in this audience, I know most of you, but I tell you what, you go to Woolies now, I don't know hardly anybody, so we know we're changing. But is there things that we are prepared to fight for that we don't let change? Are we prepared to be bold enough and say, no, we are not going to change that, because that is what makes Livingstone the most livable, most beautiful and friendly community in Australia. So it's when you're dealing with those developers that see potential here, are you prepared to stand up and say, wait, we're not going to accept that? Like the Farnborough Road units around the corner, that we desperately want more units. We know we need them. But when it's 13 metres above the town plan, even though the officers recommended approving it, I was not prepared to accept that height. So over 3 consecutive meetings, it was drawn out so long, but I wanted to keep the developer in the room because we want investment in our region. We were able to grind that height down to a height that the majority, and I was prepared to accept, because I believe that you would accept it. Now, I'm going to get things wrong, like the water. I put my hand up. But I tell you what, I went straight out to Glenlee where the most conflict was. I stood there for an hour and a half, and I copped every question there was. And Bill's right. Some of the answers I didn't know. A lot I did. But the next day a bloke rang me and he said, "Hey, Adam, I just want to say I was at that meeting and I want to apologise to you. I was a little bit harsh on you, mate." And we went back to the Caves pub that last night. I'm nearly finished. And he said, "Me and my mates, we talked about the meeting," and the publican said, "Hey, how did the meeting go anyway?" The bloke said, "Well, you know what? Adam Belot stood there for an hour and a half and got his backside kicked. But I tell you what, we're voting for him because he stood strong, he owned his mistake, and we believe he is the man to lead Livingstone into the next council." So I'm going to be asking you for your vote, and it's all about you people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adam. Our next candidate for mayor is Grantley Jack. He has worked predominantly in the coal industry and management controlling large budgets. 16 years ago, he started NRG Industrial. He has sponsored and been on various committees and boards in central Queensland, but he keeps talking about his greatest achievement was to renovate 10 small houses to get 10 homeless ladies off the street and put them in a home. Ladies and gentlemen, Grantley Jack.
Thanks, Robin. Hey guys, Grantley Jack here, and I want to work for you guys. I want to be a strong mayor. And why am I here? Because I'm frustrated just like you guys. The current council needs to be functional. So when you guys vote for your councillors and your mayors, think about who you're voting for, because we need a cohesive council so we can all make decisions. We're going to have some headbutting competitions, but we all need to make the decisions and not just have a babble in there arguing, okay? By their own admission, the council has said that it's very hard for any decisions to be made because there's executive issues and there's problems with the council. I want to be able to change that. I can deliver strong leadership to influence and create a better environment for both elected officials and people that are also elected by you, the ratepayer. I have a proven track record to do this. We need to understand that Livingstone Shire is no longer a country town. It's a thriving shire with one of the largest growth rates in Australia. It's far outstripping our neighbours up the road. We are now a serious destination. As Mayor, I will ensure that you are informed of our intentions by way of consultation, whether it be through community meetings like this or whether it be through media platforms. We shouldn't find out about our water rates by the postman dropping a letter in our box. That's not how we should do things. We need to consult with you guys so you don't get the shocks. I do believe growth needs to happen in this shire, but the entire shire needs to have and encourage sustainable development. Not 100 mile an hour. We need to be consistent, we need to be steady so we can all be comfortable with that growth. We need our children to be able to have an opportunity to stay here and enjoy our shire and not run off to the cities and never return. We need the council to loosen up the amount of layers of red and green tape that have been created by over-regulated bureaucratic ideologies. We need to feel comfortable when we make an inquiry at the council and not be pushed from one department to another only to get frustrated and give up. We can do this with more effective planning, and we need to be more efficient on our delivery going forward. The first thing we need to do, if I was elected, would be unpack the water rate model and see where we can make it an affordable proposition and not scare people so they can't sleep at night, because this is some of the people here in this room, it's their biggest bill. And some of you will not be able to sleep at night, obviously, because you don't know where you're going to find the money. We're all in a cost of living crisis, and we should be thinking about that before we make these decisions. We need to return to giving our local businesses a fair go in the tender process, to win outsourced work and not award contracts to other state entities. As Mayor, most importantly, I will hold all representatives of council to account. If you are elected, you will be expected to do more than what is currently happening. We need to have integrity, so if you say you're going to do something, you need to do it. If you want nothing to change and you're currently happy with the Shire and the way it's being run, don't vote for me. If you want real change, strong leadership, more efficient councils, and it to be run like a business, vote for me, Grantley Jack. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Grantley. Our third mayor running this evening is Andy Ireland. Andy's qualifications in accounting and management. He has been involved in governance, change management and local government. Over the past 20 years, he has held positions in local government as a Chief Operating Officer, a General Manager, a Chief Financial Officer and the Chief Executive Officer. But most recently, he owned Whisk Cafe in Yeppoon when then he stepped away from it in 2020 to become mayor in this last term. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Ireland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for coming out. As you know, back in 2014, Livingstone Shire Council de-amalgamated from Rockhampton Regional Council. Why did we do that? Well, fundamentally, we wanted to be masters of our own destiny. We wanted to be able to create employment opportunities for our residents, particularly our young people who traditionally have left this region because there is a lack of job opportunities. And we also wanted to create business opportunities for our residents here on the coast, as well as in our hinterland areas within the Shire. So for me, being mayor of this amazing Shire, it's about stimulating that economic and residential development to provide those opportunities and to stimulate sustainable growth. Now, COVID's brought a lot of new residents and investment into this region, and that's wonderful. It's no longer about how we attract people here. We've grown from 38,000 to 42,000 since COVID. It's now about how we manage that growth and how we nurture it going forward. And we have to manage it in a way, as we all agree, to protect our lifestyle here, because quite frankly, that's why we love living here. The planning horizon we're looking at now is not 10 to 15 years anymore, it is 30 to 50 years. And that's essential because we need to identify where we build our infrastructure and how we're going to pay for that. So it's an exciting time to be in Livingstone, and essentially we're in a good position to springboard into the future. We've reduced, as you've heard a number of speakers say, debt from roughly 83 million down to 51 at the moment. Property rates, the property general rates, have generally been kept at or below CPI, with 1 year seeing no rate increase at all. We also had a record number of development approvals last year, nearly 800, which indicates the growth and support and investment within this region. At the commencement of this term, we were the second highest rated council in Queensland. We are now number 9, and we are committed to working that even lower. We've been very successful in attracting funding for major projects, and our focus has been on securing the 100% funding, the full funding, rather than the 50-50 contributions, where the federal or the state government pays half and you as a ratepayer pay half. So we're in a strong financial position, ladies and gentlemen, but if you look across the state, that's not the case. 46 out of the 77 councils in Queensland are either financially distressed or financially unviable. And that is a precipice, a financial precipice, that those councils are facing, and it's going to be a major problem for the state government going forward. Livingstone, though, is not one of them. We are setting the Shire up for the future, and some hard decisions had to be made to keep us on that track, and whoever sits in the chamber after this election is going to have to make some more hard decisions, but this council at least has had the guts to make them. In conjunction with that, we've delivered some of the largest capital works programs in the history of this Shire. And going forward, there are a number of exciting projects coming out of the ground or being planned. The railway precinct here in Yeppoon is a classic example. The Gateway Business Park is another one, started by previous councils but continued by this one. We are now at stage 4, with stages 1 to 3 being sold out. Homemaker 2, relocating the depot to the Gateway Industrial Precinct to make way for further commercial development on that site. The Northern Corridor you've heard us talk about, progressing Glenlee, Glendale and Rocky View. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, given the time constraint, the Kui Bay Aquatic Centre. We received a fully funded $13 million from the federal government to refurbish the pool, replace the 50-metre pool itself, the amenities and providing a straight shade structure. So I'm asking for your support come March the 16th, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, our very last candidate for Mayor is Mr. Kelvin Appleton. Kelvin's work career includes working on properties, fencing, cattle work, machinery operations. But Kelvin and his wife established the Yeppoon Backpackers in Queen Street in the late 80s for 15 years. Since then, he's owned the Grand Hotel in Claremont for 15 years and served the community there. And he has fought for the Ring Road and fought for Adani. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kelvin Appleton.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks all for coming. I have 2 other partners in that hostel, and we wouldn't have done it without them. I've been a ratepayer here for 44 years. My family's been involved in Yeppoon in the 50s and 60s. Appleton Park was named after a great uncle. We used to run buses twice a day to Rockhampton, bringing people back to our hostel, and we took great pride in showing them what we had to offer. You know, 5 Rocks, we had the caves, we had the croc farm, the beautiful beaches, you know, Water Park Creek. It was just a great place, and you couldn't help but feel proud when you were showing them around. But more recently, we went to Claremont, which we still call Yeppoon home, and we had a pub there. I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge that Bill Ludwig and the councillors have achieved prior to the existing council, like shifting the sewerage plan, acquiring the Bunnings precinct and upgrading the beachfront. It might please everyone, but everyone that comes to town, I think, appreciates the beachfront and the way that the sewerage has been shifted out of town. And another thing we need to do, we need to promote rural growth, rural subdivisions. The demand, if you talk to the real estate agents, is out there and it's prolific, you know, and we need to fill that demand, because that demand is what makes our rate rolls, and rate roll keeps our rates at a reasonable level. And you know, we shouldn't be here tonight discussing the water rates. We should have had this meeting before they were voted on, you know, because it's one thing to keep them the same way, it's another thing to bump them up without your knowledge. So we need to address that too. And the other thing I'm passionate about is if there's contracts to be given out, they go to contractors in the Livingstone Shire. You know, this giving the contract to our waste management to a Victorian company, while our other people go without, our other people that employ people out of this rocky region, Yeppoon region, it just doesn't wash with me. I just can't understand why anyone looking after our community would give our contract out and share our money with people outside of this Shire. And that, to me, it annoys me. So we all need to work together for the benefit of the community and make it a sustainable Shire. And only then will you have a council that you can be proud of and are proud of into the future. And it's your people's choice. You know, you need to vote wisely tonight on who you think can lead us into the future. But the price of living's out of control. We all know that. We all feel the pain. And we need to create like affordable housing for our pensioners. 50% of our population now is over 55. And we need to start addressing that, you know. And we have the capabilities. It's all a rate funding program, so we can grow and we can keep our rates reasonable if we run it in a professional style business type, you know, with a 15% profit, 20% profit margin. And then we can get, by awarding subdivisions and the like, we can get donations as we put them in place to plan for our future growth. And I think that's important, because our infrastructure is there. We need to start bringing the 25 acres or 30 acres close to town. We need to look at dividing those up so people can have the choice of 5 acres or 2.5 acres. And if we do that and we work together, everyone can sort of form a lifestyle without too much preparation as we start to move forward. So I just want to thank you all again for coming. I want to thank Robin for giving us the privilege and everyone else there. But I've got a lot of passion for this area, and I just encourage everyone to vote wisely when they make their decision. Thanks all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to ask you to put your hands together for Robin Booth for tonight's event.
It's an absolute pleasure when you're passionate about something. It's not hard work.
Speaking of hard work, would I be able to get the same privileges of the Mayor? There's another person in the audience there. I'd like to come up on stage, please. Robin, I'd like to just offer you some form of appreciation for the candidates here today, for what you've done. And ladies and gentlemen, get a good look at this face and this name, because 4 years from now... There's another gift in the audience that needs to come up, please. Oh, he's gone cold on me. It's all right. He's probably under the chair. But thank you so much, Robin, for what you've done.
Thank you. All right. Okay, let's wrap it up. Okay, so I just wanted to, again, thank you all for coming out and these amazing candidates for putting their hand up. I just wanted to let you know that early voting starts on Monday next week. It's open from 9 to 5 p.m. for 2 weeks at the Yeppoon Town Hall. On election day, the locations to go and vote will be at the following places: Quarrel State School, Emu Park Cultural Hall, Farnborough State School, Keppel Sands State School, Lakes Creek State School, the Parkhurst Department of Agriculture and Fisheries Conference Centre, Tarangamba State School, the Cave State School and Yeppoon State High. So I hope that helps you in knowing where to go on election day. Remember, this was filmed tonight and it will be on YouTube. Again, if you tell everybody just to put in Livingstone Shire, Mayoral and Councillor Forum, and they should be able to see tonight and really get a feel for who the candidates are running. Very, very important. Now it's your chance to get at them. So I'd like to ask the candidates, would you like to hop off the stage, go find a spot somewhere on the floor, and then we will release the hounds. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure.